Hi, welcome to VYAPT Growth Series Season-2, a digital platform for industry leaders and experts to discuss topics related to growth, innovation, and employment opportunities. Designed to provide a space for sharing ideas, insights, and best practices across various sectors of business. In our growth series today, we have with us Mr. Vagish Dixit, MD and partner at ALPLA Group is a leading global provider of packaging solutions, especially in plastic packaging, with a strong commitment to innovation, customer satisfaction. Vagish is a renowned leader in India and also chairman of Indian Institute of Packaging. Join us for the exciting conversations ahead.
Namaskar ji, a pleasure to be here.
Welcome to VYAPT Growth Series, Vagish, and we'll be having 4 curiosities. And you are a name in the industry in the plastics, as well as do a lot with sustainability. A lot of things happening around this particular business are on your shoulders as well. So my first curiosity would be around the growth of basically the industry growth happening, and how is it working towards a sustainable future.
Thank you very much, Pankaj Bhai. A pleasure to be here. To set the context, a little bit of background about what I do would be relevant, about 30 to 40 seconds. So, ALPLA, as you know, is one of the leading rigid packaging solution providers globally. We have a landscape of 190 plants in 46 countries, and we serve the needs of billions of end consumers every day. We enable safe, affordable, and sustainable living worldwide. And Pankaj, you'll be surprised to know that we touch the lives of 3 to 4 billion people every day. We take this responsibility very seriously. So, with this backdrop, we have also many other very respected players in the packaging industries, not only rigids, but flexibles, metal, glass, paper. The overall landscape of packaging industry in India alone is to the tune of about $50 billion, and it is growing at 7 to 8% per annum. Globally, there are a variety of numbers, but these are in the range of between 800 billion to a trillion, and the growth trajectory globally is in the range of about 2 to 2.5%. This industry is, of course, while people think plastics, but I want to tell you this industry is across paper, metal, glass, plastics, and many other materials. So it is not a monomaterial industry. It is on various landscapes, and includes the end packaging and so many other materials and equipment that go behind. So,
Mhm.
as the world converges on the aligned need for sustainable growth across, all dimensions, um sustainability has, like you mentioned, taken the center stage in packaging industry, as it has across the world in every industry. I mean, whether it's automotive or engineering, everyone talks sustainability, whether it's in carbon footprint or materials or whatever. Packaging companies are, of course, rapidly shifting their focus from sustainability as a nice to have to sustainability as a foundational pillar of the organization. Companies like us and, of course, other global packaging majors are, as you know, signatories to the Ellen MacArthur Foundation Pledge, which means 25% post-consumer reused materials need to be part of manufacturing cycle by 2025, and 100% of the materials that we use must be recyclable, which means even a tape or a label or an ink that goes into a product, that needs to be 100% recyclable. So there's a lot of work going on, and we have pledged over 300 million euro over the last 5 years. This is not a mean amount. In order to support our partners to deliver sustainability goals, we work as a team, and so are many other companies. Also, I'd like you to know that many companies, including us, voluntarily publish sustainability reports now to share ground realities, targets, progress, in various facets of sustainability. We share our successes, we also share areas of opportunities. So, my suggestion is, of course, that in the role of sustainability, this needs to reside in companies at the board level and must be significantly the key area of the CEO of the company, whether in India or abroad. Many examples of great successes are coming in. Swissair uses 75% PET PCR bottles on their flights. Some companies are now with 100% in the water industry, and of course, a lot is going on in terms of sustainability as we speak.
We talked about the sustainability, and you talked about the growth part as well. That there's a tremendous growth potential which is there, and it's not only limited to the plastics industry, paper, metals, and it's not a mono-material industry you talked about. Now, I would like to understand, as I said, that there is because of the government policies coming in, you have to have 100% recycling material. Can you talk innovations happening in this particular industry? I'm sure because of certain government regulations coming in, I'm sure there would be a lot of challenges and there's a lot of innovation required for this particular industry as well.
Absolutely. So let me uh, try to give you a landscape on the innovations. So this include the entire landscape of product, business model, and supply chain. All activities and innovations, as you can imagine, fall under one of the 4 Rs, which are nowadays talked quite routinely: reduce, reuse, recycle, replace. And of course, each one of them have significant investment landscapes that are required. I believe this is true in every sphere of activities. Packaging, of course, these are the four which are the foundational pillars. So, design for recycling addresses the new mantra for product development. You might have noticed yesterday in LinkedIn, I saw Procter has announced a new shampoo called Bear, which is rollable and super thin. So you can take out the last ounce of shampoo as an example. I'm just giving some industry examples which are in public domain, conscious of the fact that we work with a lot of these companies and don't want to talk about things that are not there. So before this, of course, Bayersdorf had launched also a rollable Nivea bottle, super light. Coke launched the 250 ml super lightweighted PET bottle to replace glass a few years back. This was the first global launch out of India where these were plasma coated, increasing their life significantly and reducing the carbon footprint so dramatically, it's not funny. And also improving the supply chains. So this is on product innovation. Then, of course, there are sharper reduction in lead times of developing ideation, prototyping, and early adoption and use of virtual reality to make packs look market ready much faster than before. Earlier, it used to take 2 to 3 years. Now, people try to do it in 6 to 8 months. And then, when we talk supply chain, a new model where we take some credit is the integration of manufacturing and packaging. So, we, for example, have just put up a first proof of principle, and I hope this would become industry standard as we move forward, which reduces the supply chain lag between packaging and production. We do everything integrated, and this reduces carbon footprint dramatically. Our first proof of principle in Silvassa takes thousands of trucks off the road, and this saves money. So this is a business model innovation towards sustainability. And of course, in-house manufacturing, which is quite prevalent in Europe, is now coming into India. We've successfully managed to bring this to India. So if products are produced or packaging is produced inside the client premises, then also there is a lot of carbon footprint reduction and of course savings. So, and then moving on, I think on materials, there's a lot of work going on bio-based and biodegradable materials for us. And then this is happening across the board. So I can only share examples that I know of. So we've been working with super small startups, big ones, and internally. So Panara, for example, is a Slovakian startup looking at making biodegradable materials. We've already launched coffee capsules, which are from sunflower seed husk. Paboko is our joint venture with Billerud Kornas of Sweden, which is a huge paper conglomerate. And we've started what is called the paper bottle. It's been in the news for quite some time, called Paboko. These are for sure not economical today. None of these are, let's say, cheap solutions. And so there is always some cynicism on what would happen with these kind of alternatives. My feeling is what is economically unviable today will be viable in times to come. We will all see this we have seen this in spectrums of variety of technologies, whether it's in, you know, electric mobility or whatever, where prices have dropped dramatically. I think biodegradable materials or recyclable materials, they are super expensive now due to understandable weight of capital and investments, which will hopefully come down. I think brave and futuristic companies are supporting these activities, and we will surely find a way and an inflection point that these would become economical. So I think you also mentioned something about employment. I think the packaging industry does employ a very large number, about 10 million people directly, and about 80% are in MSME. I think industry is the quiet and unsung hero in the India growth story, and opportunities are huge for the future. Given the right support, I think the sector can support India's march as an export country for FMCG products and many other products where packaging plays a critical role. I hope I have been able to answer your question.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. In fact, Vagish, this was some of the very important points you have mentioned in the innovation part of it. We have one of the questions coming up is uh, when you talk about the recycling of materials, how do you see the growth, particularly in the recycling segment of the smaller players in this particular industry?
So I speak on this subject often, and I want to tell you that we, as a nation, have been the pioneers in recycling, and we should actually be applauded as a nation because we've been recycling paper, we've been recycling plastics for 30, 40 years, metal and everything.
Mhm.
And this is in our social behavior. This was also happening during my grandfather's times. They would exchange clothes for metal utensils and stuff. Plastic and metal. So let's stay with plastics because that's under a lot of focus. Recycling has been going on for 30, 40 years and largely driven by small scale. Today, PET, which is a preferred material for beverages, 90% in organized sector and 7 in unorganized. 97% of our materials are recycled,
Mhm.
and I would call it upcycling because it goes into fiber, into making of t-shirts, clothes, bags, even beds and pillows and everything, which extends the life to tens of years. So there is a lot of focus now additionally on this, primarily on account of the EPR regulations in 2025. So a lot of new capacities are coming for what I would call as lateral recycling from bottle to bottle, uh, which includes small and big players together. I think the area of concern continues to be in the flexible material sector, which is basically sachets. These small sachets, India consumes, hundreds of billions of them. Um, Help in taking product to tier 3, tier 4, to the most humblest economically enabled people in the Indian landscape. And so understandably there is a lot of reticence in addressing that with a firm hand. But I believe on the rigid side, where there is more noise than necessary, bottles get recycled. They are economically viable to be recycled. The main problem, if not the only one, stays with the flexibles. And I believe people need to open their eyes and address this uh, with with firmness. And I hope this would happen. Also, material changes are happening. There are companies coming in with monomaterials, recyclable sachets. So I hope that will also solve some of these issues.
That's A really nice question coming up from one of our viewers is, you talked about the opportunities, and within that opportunities, one of the question which is coming in, that in the packaging industry or for the plastic packaging or in the recycling business, which is the most relevant and significant business as of now in the era in which we are living, new entrants in the market, can they score, can they come up with some kind of a growth opportunities within the market, or do you think that it's really impossible for a new entrant to come into the market and establish themselves?
So look, you know that I'm a first generation entrepreneur. I started with nothing. And this was in my lifetime, in 1984, 85. Even at that time, people told me, "Arey, बहुत पिटा हुआ market है, कहाँ घुस रहे हो?" And I had come back from US after doing an MBA and just wanted to come back to create 500, 600 jobs. That was my aim. And I could
Hmm.
find my feet. I believe uh, there is an old Hindi saying कि जब आप जागें तभी सवेरा. So whenever somebody wants to do something, there's always, by and large, with some exceptions, opportunities. And for sure, in packaging, there will be opportunities always for new entrants. You just need to work hard in terms of knowing which is the niche, which is the consumer need that you want to address, and in which geography. And if you do your homework right, with the intent of being a long term player, with the intent of making a social change, for profit is the best way to make social change. तो आप वो करें तो कोई तकलीफ नहीं है. दुनिया की opportunity. And I would like to tell that the big companies every year, if you see the top 20 or top 50 companies in the world, half of them disappear in every 10 years एंड नई आती हैं. तो ये तो बहता पानी निर्मला, ये तो हर वक्त का ये तकाजा है कि whenever people want to start something, hard work is a solution along with smart work. There will be enough opportunities. I mentor a lot of people in packaging industry. I chair Indian Institute of Packaging. I always tell, try to be an employment creator. It's also very laudable to do a good job in a good company, but it is 10x more laudable if you can go and create jobs.
That's so good to hear from you, and I'm sure many of our viewers are hearing this, that there is a lot of scope within this packaging industry to grow even if you are a new entrant. After this, we'll move on to our third curiosity, which is a rapid fire round. In this rapid fire round, we'll be having 10 questions. You have to answer each question in a word or a maximum of a sentence. Remember, this is beyond business, and it's going to be something which you do in your daily lives, which is personal to you. So here we are with 10 questions.
Please go ahead.
So I'll start with the first one. What is the motto of your life in one statement or
Bring joy
sentence?
and happiness in the lives of as many as you can, without judgment and without wanting something for it. This could
Okay.
be by enabling people to make them sashakt with education, employment, skilling, health, guidance, whatever you can do. पर बांटिए, प्रेम से बांटिए, खुशी बांटिए तो बहुत मजा आएगा.
That's a nice one. Are you a dog person or a cat person?
Actually, I'm a cat person, but not the cat that you think of.
Hmm.
As a wildlife enthusiast, I prefer leopards, cheetahs, tigers, and an occasional pride of lions.
Okay. Part of cat family. Okay.
Sorry, आवाज नहीं आई.
Mega, these are part of the cat family.
Yeah.
I might move on to my third question. If your life was a story, what would be the title of the story?
So I used to head a charity organization for which I had given a motto, and that would probably be the same title. Towards a meaningful life is how I would title it.
Towards a meaningful life, you said. I move on to the next one. The best
Yes.
compliment you have ever received.
It was during the COVID when one of my colleagues said, "Thank you for saving my life."
Oh, I don't think anybody can think any better statement or a better compliment than this? What is one food or one cuisine you'd never want to give up?
Food for thought.
This is smart. Okay, so
Bit cheeky but factual.
your favorite place to visit?
Actually, there are two: Kaziranga National Park
Hmm.
in Assam and Masai
Mhm.
Mara in Eastern Africa, near Kenya. These are my super favorite places. I can go there every year, every month, if I could.
Are you an optimist or a realist?
I think optimists are the only realists.
Basically, a creator.
I believe you can't be a realist without being an optimist.
Okay.
So,
An advice that changed your life.
so I think it was in 1980 that as a 19-year-old, I was doing some work for Mother Teresa, and she said something to me that stuck for me with me forever. During a charity program where I was heading that charity, she said, "Son, you are privileged because you have the opportunity to serve. Don't forget to thank those who give you this privilege." सो यदि
Wonderful.
किसी का भला करें तो उसको भी धन्यवाद करिए, बिकॉज अगर वो आपको मौका नहीं देता भलाई करने का तो आपको वो आनंद you wouldn't have ever got the pleasure and privilege of serving. This
True.
was absolutely stuck with me forever.
I move on to the next one. If you could make up a holiday, what would it be named? Name of a holiday.
I would call it the show respect holiday. इस दिन हर एक व्यक्ति जो है वो दूसरे व्यक्ति को प्रेम से he will express his respect, whether it is somebody senior to you, junior to you, it doesn't matter. It could be the driver in a truck. Whoever you meet, show respect. And I wish you could do it all of us could do it 365 days.
You mean to say if respect becomes the part of your DNA, I think anybody's DNA or the world's DNA, that's the thing what you're
Absolutely.
looking at.
Absolutely.
So now the last one. What would what is the one thing you'd like to take along if you are deserted island? You can take along only one thing on a deserted island. What would you prefer?
Actually, nothing, because nothing would last beyond a few days. The question doesn't imply I'm stuck in a deserted island. So, if I'm enjoying the island, then let me enjoy it without anything.
So you don't want to take anything?
I want to take the ability to experience that island,
Okay.
and I want to focus on that instead of anything that I want to take with me.
Okay, so 10 on 10 to you. It answered some very straight answers coming in, and you have answered it very well. 10 on 10 to
Thank
you in
you.
this rapid fire round. And we'll move on to the last question of us, which is about you as a leader. Uh, Vagish, you are the name in the industry, and you talked about that in 1984 was the time when you started, and every time when you talk about 84 or you talk about 2023, good and bad thoughts always come in mind, and as you look back, I'm sure you have seen a lot of struggles coming in the business as well as you have achieved a stage where you are. Can you talk about some of the memorable lessons which you learn from your mentors, to your teachers, society, friends, colleagues, whoever, and how has it impacted your leadership style, the way you actually shape up the organization? And I've been told that you also, as you said, that you also mentor many people. You are on the boards of some of the organization. You are the chairman of some of the institutes, shaping the lives or the future lives and other things. So you're taking interest not only in the business, but you're shaping the lives of people so that the future can even be brighter. So can you talk around more about yourself, which could help us understand a little more about the background, please?
Thanks, Pankaj. So, I think, as you rightly said, in the journey of last nearly 40 years, I have received a lot of um advice, mentoring, intended or unintended, from many people, including my employees, my colleagues, my friends, my supply partners, people with whom I have no connection also have inspired me. And if I have to make a specific mention, Mr. G.V. Prasad, who is the chairman of Dr. Reddy's, many years back, he decided to appoint himself as my mentor without any invitation. Being a very nice person, I also want to acknowledge uh, a lot of my success to some of his sharings with me. So, if I have to share what I have learned from many of these wonderful people I have had the chance to talk to, and also Prasad that I just mentioned, I would summarize them as follows. First of all, especially because there were some earlier questions on starting a business, कि देखिए, run after a larger purpose and money will follow. When I started my business, it was only to create 500 jobs and I had no money. So today we have 2,000 people here and 22,000 worldwide, and we are looking at larger purposes beyond. So run after purpose and money will follow. If you run after money, Lakshmi ji is chanchla, she will outrun you. कोई चांस नहीं है. तो गो फॉर अ लार्जर पर्पस. दूसरी बात यह है कि एनेबल, एम्पावर एंड एनकरेज योर टीम. अकेला चना भाड़ नहीं जोगता, नॉर्थ में कहते हैं. सो यू आर ओनली एज गुड एज योर टीम, एंड हियर यू कैन ओनली लीड बाय एग्जाम्पल. If you say work with dexterity, please express that. You don't have to say it. If you say work with ethics, express them in your life in every facet. People will follow you if you are ethical. तो आप अच्छे से लीड करेंगे तो आपकी टीम अच्छी रहेगी. And I'm very blessed for this advice. Also, when first generation entrepreneurs enjoy their work so much that they are always on the dance floor, तो वो टीम डेवलप नहीं होती है. सो वन ऑफ द बेस्ट एडवाइसेस आई गॉट वाज स्टे ऑन द बालकनी एंड एंजॉय द डांस फ्लोर फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट फ्लोर. ओनली कम डाउन व्हेन नेसेसरी. डेलीगेट, डू नॉट एब्डिकेट. ये नहीं है कि डेलीगेट कर दिया तो अब पता ही कुछ नहीं है. एंड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंटली, स्टे ग्राउंडेड, स्टे हम्बल. जितना ऊपर उड़िएगा उतना ही गिरेंगे तो ज़्यादा चोट लगेगी. सो स्टे हम्बल. And I have seen some of the best leaders are the most humble people in the world. And of course, professionally, on a functional way, watch out for unexpected monkeys that jump on your shoulders. Accept only those which monkeys you really want to address. नहीं तो आप देखिएगा कि सभी का काम आप ही करते रह जाएंगे, फिर कंपनी या आपका ऑर्गेनाइजेशन विल सफर. And on a more watchful note, beware of value destroyers. Not everyone that you would manage to accumulate as a team will be a value creator.
True.
I read a fabulous article that was shared by my mentor from Harvard Business Review way back in 2007. It called No Jerks Policy. So it was not a flippant thing. It was a research article, and it explained how some people who want to be change agents are actually jerks, and they destroy value. ऐसे लोगों से सावधान रहिए. And if you find one, be respectful, give a soft landing, but let him or her go ASAP. Keep the team clean. Only then. First generation entrepreneurs have a problem that they always want never to fire anyone. They always like, ये मेरी भी समस्या है. I'm very bad at letting anyone go. But I've realized that value destroyers you need to let go ASAP. And lastly, make a difference. If you are finding that you are not making a difference, आपका जहन आपको बताएगा कि Vagish, you're not making a difference. Continue to make a difference. The day you find you're not making a difference, step aside. There will be smarter people than you to take the lead and create more value. These are some of the lessons.
In fact, Vagish, you have shared some beautiful lessons, and I'm sure all our viewers must have learned a lot from this. So, all the business side as well as the personal side, the kind of leadership you follow, and you have shared it really well. That even a school student would be able. So, and that's where the diversity of our viewership is. Thank you so much for sharing your heart and mind with us. It's been a really great pleasure for us to have you on VYAPT Growth Series.
Pankaj, I see a question. Larger purpose, you have surpassed your purpose. At that stage, what is the larger purpose?
Yeah, yeah. It
So
has just come.
here I just want to make a comment that life is a journey, and every purpose statement, except for creating value in the larger sense, is a destination for a few seconds. You must
Hmm.
enjoy the journey. So when we crossed 500,
Hmm.
we decided to repurpose ourselves as how to make more meaningful impact
Hmm.
on everyone we touch. So instead of just a
Hmm.
numerical number, we got into education. We are the first dual education provider on German, Austrian, Swiss model in the country,
Hmm.
and there we are investing a very large sum just to help 15 kids,
Hmm.
and it will go up to much more.
Hmm.
सो करिए, करते रहिए, जब तक आप सोशल इम्पैक्ट करेंगे इतना मजा आएगा
Hmm.
कि काम अच्छा चलेगा, आपकी कंपनी को सराहा जाएगा. वी आर ऑल्सो वर्किंग ऑन डाइवर्सिटी एंड इंक्लूजन. वी आर द फर्स्ट कंपनी इन सिलवासा
Hmm.
to have women in manufacturing at night shifts,
Hmm.
and these are from very very humble, let's say, social backgrounds from all over the country.
Hmm.
So there is enough richness of causes in our country and in the world.
Hmm.
Pick up the cause, just don't get lethargic about making an impact. That's my answer.
That's very nice hearing from you. I may be wrong, but I think that Krishna Mohan is the ex CEO of Imami, who has just written this. He himself is a very grounded person, and thank you, Krishna Mohan, who you have asked a beautiful question, and I'm sure the purpose, Mr. Dixit, the purpose which you have actually started, and which is very very relevant throughout our lives, and there will be lot of people by the kind of initiatives you are taking, and a lot of business is going to be generated from this particular industry as well. Thank you so much, Mr. Dixit, for being so humble, so grounded, and accepting our invitation to be a part of VYAPT Growth Series. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.